Caribbean capital, this is the GBN television news. GBN, covering you from the Grenadine Island chain to Brooklyn, New York, via the World Wide Web on www.gbn.gd.
The news headlines is brought to you compliments GUT Credit Union.
We are taking pride in outstanding performance. We are encouraging and recognizing innovation. We are committed to continuously doing things better, with enhanced services coming soon. Yes, we are here for you. Check us out today for your financial need. GUT Credit Union, it's where you belong.
This is the GBN television news for Friday, April 9th, 2021. I am Trellona Charles. In the headlines tonight, evacuation continues as the second eruption of La Soufrière is recorded on Friday. Grenada prepares to host Vincentians displaced by volcanic eruptions. Carriacou teacher Leslie Stewart placed on $20,000 bail for allegedly sexually oriented crimes. River Sally annual Saraka celebrations proceed. Lydon Lewis appointed Executive Director of the Grenada Employers Federation. In Around the Globe, doctor rejects claims that George Floyd's death was due to drug use, while in Mexico, Mexico continues its use of AstraZeneca despite blood clotting concerns. Coming up in sports, Grenada's first Paralympic swimmer departed Grenada on Friday for qualifying meet for the Tokyo Paralympic Games. Details right after this message.
Get high making money moves with the NLA's new Aces High Scratch game with 4 chances to win. Beat the dealer's card to win the prize shown. Reveal an A symbol. And just like that, you are automatically a winner. Scratch away to win the top prize of $10,000. Win easy with Scratch. Must be 18 or older to play.
Good evening. This is GBN's News at 7. Eyewitness News was present close to midnight, Thursday, 8th April 2021, as evacuees arrived in the central Leeward town from Chateau Belair in North Leeward, which is in the volcano red zone. Authorities in St. Vincent and the Grenadines ordered an evacuation hours before an explosive eruption of La Soufrière, which has been erupting effusively since December 2020. We get more in this report.
Administrative Officer 2, with responsibility for communications within the Ministry of National Mobilization.
Can you tell me what was your role and responsibility in the evacuation here this evening? Okay,
so basically what happened, representing the Ministry of National Mobilization, I coordinated the persons disembarking the vessel. We coordinated having them to have a seamless transition from the vessel into which of the centers they're going. Some persons were going to Kingston, Camden Park, so the transport was set up. So we tried to have as smooth as possible scenario that provided seamless transition, less headache and worry on the person already in a panic mode. So we try to cushion that whole effect so that persons can feel a sense of normalcy, but at the same time understand that we're caring for them with what we're doing.
And where did these people arrive from?
The majority of persons who arrived here this evening came from Fitzhughes, Chateau Belair, and Petit Bodel.
Via the Chateau Chateaubelair Harbour?
Via the Chateaubelair Harbour, they came on the Gemstar, and Gemstar made 2 trips. This is the second trip that they're making, and they provided the first batch that came was about 300 persons. I'm not sure of the tally here now because our folks are still doing some tally in terms of how many persons come off at this point in time. But we would have had another 2 vessels who would have gone to Kingston. Beckwith Express and also Dread and Son would have taken approximately close to 800 persons would have arrived at the Kingston Harbour coming off from the Red Zone.
So they went directly from Chateaubelair to Kingston?
They went directly from the wharf into Kingston. So what is happening here now, persons are transitioning who are going to Kingston or Camden Park, and then persons who are going to the shelters that are surrounded within Central Leeward itself, whether it be the Curtains, at the Resource Centre, the Barley Government School, at the Grace and Truth campsite in Layu. So the process is unfolding nicely at this point in time. A few hiccups here and there, but we're getting it all together.
Did you have any mishaps, any injuries or anything like that?
Thankfully, the persons who are here, we would have had a good coordinating effort between the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, the Red Cross, volunteers who came on the wharf to assist us, and persons from the Ministry of National Mobilization. We were able to deal with persons with their disabilities. We had persons who are elderly who had in need of assistive devices. We provided that as well, and the police provided the transport directly from the boat straight to wherever they were being placed. So we had that smooth transition.
La Soufrière, which has been dormant for decades, erupted, bringing a fresh challenge to the financially plagued COVID-19 pandemic-tested island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Just as the Prime Minister warned his teachers to take the COVID-19 vaccine or leave, and disclosed that within months the government may face challenges to pay its public officers, La Soufrière added to the mix, blanketing the Caribbean island in ash and smoke.
The people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the wider Caribbean woke up to the news that the La Soufrière volcano has erupted. For weeks or even months, scientists had their eyes set on the La Soufrière volcano, citing its possible eruption. Grenada Superintendent of Police, Sylvan McIntyre, was deployed to St. Vincent through Sedima to assist. He speaks on this latest development and the mood on the ground at this time.
The indication from the scientists is that there was this explosive eruption that sent plume up to about 800 kilometers into the atmosphere. The implication for St. Vincent and the Grenadines in the first instance is for the effects of ash fall. This is not the only hazard that the island or islands are exposed to. There are other things that are associated with volcanic eruption that can happen, and those could be in phases and stages. It is early stage still. If you have followed or people have followed the activity of the eruption, it moved from being effusive where it was emitting some of the magma and gases, and it has gone into releasing volcanic tectonic earthquakes and tremors associated, which gave different indication that an explosion was very likely. So the explosion has occurred, and it is likely other things will be associated.
The eruption occurred amid mass evacuation of more than 16,000 residents after the order was given by Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves on Thursday. Prime Minister Gonsalves, during a press conference this morning, became emotional as he disclosed the kind gestures received from people throughout the region. Grenada was one of the islands singled out as he shared that citizens destined to take refuge here may arrive as soon as Sunday.
This morning, the Prime Minister of Grenada, the Prime Minister of Antigua, the Prime Minister of Dominica. When I leave here, I have to go and talk to the Prime Minister of St. Lucia. I didn't get him the Prime Minister of St. Kitts Nevis. But in the case of Dominica, Grenada, and Antigua, they would be ready certainly by about Sunday. Maybe Monday.
It is the first volcanic eruption in St. Vincent since 1979. The worst one on record killed over 1,000 people in 1902. False information is circulating that scientists at UWI have issued an emergency alert for Grenada and St. Vincent, citing that an underwater volcanic eruption is possible within the next 24 hours. However, this was quickly dispelled. Superintendent of Police Sylvan McIntyre says there is no connection.
I just want to reassure Grenadians and the rest of the Caribbean, we have trusted the expertise of our scientists in the past and we continue to believe in them, and they have provided us with useful information. As it stands, there is no science that shows definitely, according to the experts we have here, that the volcanoes, once they erupt, that another one within the region is likely to. But because the Caribbean sits on those tectonic plates, it is possible you have tremors and earthquakes that plate movement could cause the release of pressure from some of the associated volcanoes, which could include Kikamjeni and the others. But the monitoring instruments placed on Kikamjeni and placed around the other volcanoes in the Caribbean, the readings are reliable from the Seismic Research Center in St. Augustine and would give what we hope would be sufficient time if there is any activity. So far, they've not indicated, and NADMA could confirm this, that there is any unusual activities associated with St. Vincent and La Soufrière.
For GBN News, Janelle McDonald.
Meanwhile, St. Vincent's Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves choked up as he recalled the assistance and outpouring of compassion shown towards the people of St. Vincent in the wake of the volcanic explosion. He expressed gratitude for the gestures extended.
The way in which people in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and in ordinary people and in Grenada and in Dominica, St. Lucia and Antigua have responded to put people in their homes, strangers, bring tears to my eyes. I love this Caribbean.
Government has committed to provide accommodations to 1,600 Vincentians as our neighbors experience their first volcanic eruption in decades. Officials from NADMA, the Royal Grenada Police Force, and the COVID-19 Committee announced what measures are being taken to ensure the safety of Grenadians, as well as those that may be evacuated to Grenada in the next couple weeks. We get the latest developments in this report.
The possible timeline for receiving evacuees is expected to be around 2 weeks, while taking into consideration COVID-19 protocols and the length of time to travel. The update followed a meeting of the National Emergency Advisory Committee on Friday morning. Minister for Disaster Management Winston Garway says St. Vincent evacuees will have to be tested as well as receive 1 dose of the COVID-19 vaccine before deciding as to which country they will be evacuated to.
Our approach is to ensure that we have all our required support systems in place to be activated once formal notification has been given to us. Additionally, we are carefully monitoring developments on our sister isles. We are well aware of the close ties between the islands. We know that many families and friends will want to come home. Our concern is that these persons may do so undetected and undocumented.
Garway says preliminary reports from the St. Vincent government is that Grenada may not receive as many as 1,600 evacuees. However, they remain open to welcoming those who choose to come. Dr. Bud Braffett of the COVID-19 Committee says the pandemic poses an increased risk. Thus, any evacuee will be quarantined and tested.
Meanwhile, we obviously have to look after their well-being wherever they're situated. So to have them tested, to obviously one has to help with the emotional state as well, because it cannot be easy. Leaving your home, leaving everything, all your possessions in many cases, especially those who are closest to the center of the volcano, I would say.
Dr. Brathwaite adds that rooms at the SGU campus would be available, while Grenadians can also provide shelter at their homes for relatives.
All those individuals who are involved in care of people should themselves seek to get vaccinated. That is is very important. Now, when you get vaccinated, that does not mean that you're protected immediately. It's going to take some 3 weeks or so for your antibody levels to build up to afford you some measure of protection. That's not full protection. Full protection is when you have had 2 shots of the vaccine.
Deputy Commissioner of Police Michael Francois says the RGPF has activated its response operation plan, whereby increasing support to the Coast Guard, Immigration and Police on the Sister Isles.
Because we would have adopted a 2-pronged approach. As you're aware, we have persons who are coming into Grenada in response to the invitation of the Grenada government, which would be on one hand, and then we have several persons who want to use the opportunity to engage in illegal activity. And as I say that, just this morning in our operational response, we would have picked up a Vincentian national who in collusion with the Grenadians and then several pounds of cannabis and firearm and rounds of ammunition.
2 centers would facilitate the evacuees from St. Vincent, while the Vincentian government via NEMO has requested a specific list of emergency supplies. National Disaster Coordinator Benedict Peters is encouraging Grenadians to lend their assistance wherever possible. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
Director of the Dennis and Louisa Canning Foundation, Mr. Dennis Canning, is pledging thousands of dollars towards assisting Vincentian nationals displaced by the Las Fray volcano and seeking refuge in Grenada. Canning has indicated his commitment to the National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA. The Dennis and Louisa Canning Foundation is initially pledging financial support as necessary, but that can range from $30,000 to $40,000. But he did say $50,000.
There's no doubt that we have a very serious natural disaster in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And because of that situation that have put so many of the nationals there in a desperate situation, I am willing to make a donation to NADMA to assist in housing and to undertake some of the responsibilities for the evacuees that we expect to come down in large numbers. I don't know exactly how many we have to house, but I'm willing to house and undertake the expenses of these evacuees in this serious disaster we have in St. Vincent.
Mr. Canning said that as neighbors, we all have a responsibility to help the people of St. Vincent in their time of need.
And I'm willing to help, whatever little help I can give, I'm willing to help at this particular stage. And that's where, in whatever situation I can assist, or whatever resources I can afford to donate, I'm willing here, more than willing to donate it to assist the evacuees from St. Vincent.
This is news at 7. Coming up, protesters gathered outside the magistrate's court in St. George as Carrico teacher Leslie Stewart made his first court appearance. Stay with us.
There's a reason we have been here to serve you for the past 40 years. A reason we have continued to grow. A reason we have continued to celebrate. That reason is you. We have been here to help you plan for your future and here to help you celebrate your achievements. We continue to be here, even when the future seems unclear. Because one thing is certain, you're the reason we care.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
With Glow FastPay. Use your MasterCard or Visa and pay from anywhere. Log on to discoverflow.co/FastPay and press Consumer. Select your country and enter your account number. Enter the amount to be paid and an email address. Enter your credit card information. You'll receive a payment confirmation with the transaction details, along with a receipt to your email address. It's fast, safe, and easy. Flow, keeping you connected.
Introducing Color by Sissons. 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 Color by Sissons.
Ridgeway Residences, a modern, exclusive residential community offered by Ariza. Purchase one of our completely built houses or let us build for you by simply choosing your lot, choosing your home design from our selection, and let us do the rest. Owning a home does not have to be a frustrating process. For more information, contact Ariza Credit Union on 415-0994 or send us an email on info@ridgewayresidences.gd. Ridgeway Residences, hassle-free home ownership.
How going on, boy?
Hey, good old things.
Hey, Daisy.
Yeah.
Boy, in line, boy. Your house looking a real good day.
Boy, it's thanks to the hard-working and professional staff at the Housing Authority of Grenada. They handled me real nice. They did my plan, they did the construction, and I didn't even have to worry about a thing. They were there with me every step of the way, supervising the job, asking me about my concerns, giving me feedback as the house took shape. They were there from start to finish, and even put the keys in the palm of my hand. I give them an A++ for customer service.
Oh, it's people from housing bad, boy.
Boy, not bad. Excellent. If you're thinking about constructing your home, why not consult the Housing Authority of Grenada? You could visit them right down in the Sandino complex or give them a call, 440-1015 or 440-1016. Or check out their website, hag473.com. They go handle you. They go jog your blocks, they go draw your plan, they go tote your materials. Hey man, where you going? The Housing Authority of Grenada is your choice for affordable housing and a stress-free construction experience.
GBN leads, the others follow. This segment is brought to you by Republic Bank.
There's a reason we have been here to serve you for the past 40 years. A reason we have continued to grow. A reason we have continued to celebrate. That reason is you. We have been here to help you plan for your future and here to help you celebrate your achievements. We continue to be here, even when the future seems unclear. Because one thing is certain, you're the reason we care.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Welcome back. Another clarion call is being made for the establishment of a sex offenders registry while continuing to introduce stricter laws and sentencing for sexually oriented crimes. As a math teacher from Carriacou made his first court appearance on Friday at the St. George's Magistrates Court, his arrival at the court was met with protesters holding placards and calling for no bail to be granted. We hear the details to that story.
Leslie Stewart has been placed on $20,000 bail and is required to submit all travel documents. He is to have no contact with the victim or any student while reporting to the Carriacou police station between the hours of 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. every Monday and Friday. Based on the outcome of the preliminary hearing, the court will seek to have him suspended from his job. Stewart, 54, from the community of Leicester, Carriacou, has been slapped with one count of child pornography cultivating an online relationship with a minor. Rolanda McQueen, a local business owner, was one of the protesters outside the court on Friday, and she says this case reaffirms her cause for a sex offenders registry.
We need a child sexual registration. The police does their job. The police do their job. The court is not doing their job. The system is failing our children. We need stiffer sentences. Otherwise, parents are going to take the law into their own hand because parents want justice. I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother, I'm an aunt, and it frightens me that my niece cannot leave her children at home when she comes to work.
Another of the protesters, Al Maitland, who has championed against sexual abuse, says though there have been accomplishments, there remains more to be done.
I believe that we have gained some ground. Approximately 1 year ago, Ms. Rolanda McQueen and I did a petition through St. George's. Only a few days after that, the Attorney General, I believe, Mr. Ramdani, they had passed stronger laws which we called for. However, today we are here because I'm very petrified, as every Grenadian should be, as every father, every uncle, every mother should be, that this has allegedly been going on in Carriacou since 1996.
He says such cases need to be dealt with at the highest levels and given top priority.
Not only are pedophiles in need of being incarcerated, but they also need, definitely most importantly, need to be rehabilitated. They need to be counseled, as they should not be led back onto the streets because they will be doing the same thing and no one will be safe.
The month of April is observed as Child Abuse Awareness. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
Ultimately, the independence of the judiciary has been vindicated in keeping with the separation of powers as prescribed in the Constitution of Grenada. This is according to attorney at law Anselm Clouden, who represented Dorset Charles in a long-standing issue against government. Clouden says his client can finally rest and enjoy his retirement after the state's delayed payment for 22 years.
After years of waiting for his judgment to be fulfilled by the state of Grenada, Grandin's businessman Dorset Charles is finally getting some of the cash owed to him. This was Mr. Charles in 2020 as he explained to the media that he had become destitute.
I depend on my kids in Canada.
A 1990 judgment order by the Court of Appeal was first made in the favor of Dorset Charles at over $1.6 million for damage to his property. 22 years after, the local court ruled that Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell and his ruling New National Party government had acted illegally in bulldozing the water sports business of Dorset Shores and Grandin's Beach. The small businessman is finally due to get a settlement payment of EC $2.2 million. Attorney at law Anselm Clouden, who represents Charles, addressed the media on Friday.
Well, I must say, we have since had a new Attorney General. And notwithstanding all the objections by the government to the application for leave, which we succeeded in getting, the current Attorney General, recognizing that on the 31st of March, it could result in a very, very indecent embarrassment, an indecent embarrassment for the government. So we entered into negotiations since March 31st. We appeared in court, and the presiding judge was advised that a consent order would be forthcoming. And we have reached an agreement.
Clouden says an initial payment of $60,000 has been made to Dorset Charles, with a schedule for the payment of the full amount.
The writ is just there held in abeyance. If there is any further default, we are going to go right back to the court and tell the court, look, the government has reneged on its undertaking, its promise, and we would have to seek an execution of the writ of mandamus.
I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
And now we turn our attention to what has been creating a buzz on social media. Let's take a look around the platforms. This is Social Buzz, where we shine a light on the thoughts and concerns of our online audience. St. Vincent's La Soufrière volcano, which has been dormant for decades, has erupted. As Grenada looks at the events on the neighboring island, the government has committed to provide accommodations for Vincentians.
As plumes of ash rose to up to 8 kilometers high. The government of Grenada reiterates its commitment to support our brothers and sisters in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Tonight we listen to the thoughts of our online and listening audience as evacuees may soon arrive on our shows.
I am joining in with others in prayer for the people of St. Vincent, as the Bible said, love your neighbors as you love yourself. What we need to worry about are the side effects of the vaccine and how safe the influx of the Vincentians would be in light of the current disaster.
We have to pray for the people in St. Vincent, because each one pray for one. When something happens to your country, you have to pray for the other side. If they need help, where help is needed and we could give a help, let us go on and give a helping hand.
I think it's a good move to insist that any evacuee into the country must be vaccinated. Also, there should be strict measures put in place for the movements of the evacuees. I am not convinced that Steele and his sidekick Worm will be up to the job of protecting us during the Vinci crisis.
So all these little petty politics in Grenada about government go take in and thing. If Vinci refugee come to Grenada, then the UN will step in. It's not the Grenadian government will take care of them. They will look after in Grenada, but with assistance from the UNHCR.
Somebody who is just temporarily displaced because of an emergency, which we hope may not widen, just for a short term, the UNHCR doesn't necessarily get involved in that. So it is more or less humanitarian at the local and regional level, and we hope that it won't get to the point where we have to bring in international agencies. So let's pray for the best.
My prayers go out to the people of St. Vincent. I hope life can return to normal ASAP. Let's continue to cross our fingers and keep them in our thoughts.
That's it for tonight's Social Buzz. If you would like to have your thoughts and concerns shared, be sure to comment on GBN's Facebook page. From the thought process to the visual impact, it's time to take a peek through the GBN eyesore lens.
A good eye captures all. GBN eyesore is brought to you by ClearVision. Life is beautiful if only you can see it. ClearVision Eye Center helps you do just that. We provide expert service, classy eyewear, and cutting-edge technology, all with a quality customer experience. See better, feel better, and look better. Meet us today at clearvisiongrenada.com or call 444-0055, WhatsApp 409-0055, or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. ClearVision Eye Center. Let's see life and the world with a clear vision.
Ever heard the saying, show off killed Auntie's bulldog? Well, our eyesore reporter says that's what came to mind when she saw tonight's eyesore submission. The video she submitted said burnout gone wrong, but she says it's an expensive show-off. Maybe a little bit of both? What do you think? Send us your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp on 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
Still ahead, Lydon Lewis appointed Executive Director of the Grenada Employers Federation. This is news at 7.
Wacky Virtual Bingo! And the next one's going down on Sunday, April 11th from 6 p.m. Don't believe me? Get a ticket and try it. This time, you can win US $10,000. $10,000! Remember, if you don't have a ticket, you don't have a chance. Tickets are only $10 US. And for persons playing for the first time, a special discount price awaits you. In Grenada, tickets are available at gotofed.com and from numerous box offices island-wide or at our main office on Grove Street Mall. If you're overseas, then tickets are only available at GoToVet.com. This is the big one, and it's going down Sunday, April 11th. Join all the fun and excitement online. Play Waggity Virtual Bingo. It's the new way to play. Bingo.
There are those who say they care, and then there is Jediah's Pharmacy, conveniently located at the front entrance of the Brew Street Mall, right next to a Riser Credit Union. We offer premium quality products and services, and when you need us, we are there, offering you around-the-clock service, Mondays to Fridays, 7:30 to 7 p.m., Saturdays, 9 until 7 p.m., and Sundays, 10 until 2. At Jediah's Pharmacy, we show care with a beautiful smile. Call us today at 440-5342. The number again, 440-5342. Jediah's Pharmacy, affordable and totally dependable.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
You want a hand sanitizer to do 3 things: kill germs, be gentle, and to go where you go. You can get all of that in our hand sanitizer. Hard on germs, gentle on hands, affordable. Remember, hand sanitizers contain alcohol. Keep away from heat and flames and avoid contact with eyes. Available at retailers island-wide.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
Shopped at Wonderland, then Neverland. But we're all grown up now and no longer believe in fairy tales. So now we just shop at Shoes R Us. At Shoes R Us, we stock the latest in shoes, tops, and jeans for the fashion-conscious lady. We also carry colognes and much, much more. And for the modern trendy male, we have the latest brand name shoes and sneakers, Converse, Reebok, Nike, K-Swiss, Puma, and much more. So check us out at our 2 convenient locations, Melville Street in St. George and Ben Jones Street in Granville. At Shoes R Us, we say, come shop with us.
This is GBN. We've got the means, the power, and the medium. This segment is brought to you by Flow.
Your hard work, talent, and creativity, plus Flow, equals more ways to chase your dreams. Flow is connecting all of Grenada, from Point Salines to Hillsborough, with the most reliable connection on the island. So now everyone can work, study, and keep moving forward together. Visit discoverflow.co for more information.
Today marks the first Friday after Good Friday, and despite no permission given by the Chief Medical Officer, the community of Riversali in St. Patrick, as promised, has proceeded with their annual Saraka celebrations. GBN visited the village Friday morning as they began their food preparations. The Chief Medical Officer gave no permission for Riversali's Saraka, but the villagers say the long-standing tradition must go on. However, taking the global pandemic and the Ministry of Health's COVID-19 protocols into consideration, this year the highly anticipated event will be a takeaway edition, where patrons will be encouraged to collect their food and avoid gathering. Godwin Wildman, a member of the community, said while the community complied last year, they see no reason to cancel the event for a second consecutive year, given Grenada's current COVID-19 status.
We are doing it because we obeyed last year. Last year was curfew time, and we decided, well, the pandemic was ripe on us, so we just couldn't go ahead. But now we have this easement, so we take the opportunity this year. But it is something that brings the community together so much that if you don't have it, I mean, if it wasn't the travel ban, I mean, we would have had maybe hundreds of, residents and visitors coming here for that.
Garvin Charles, another River Sally resident who was cooking at his home, said he is thankful that they can cook this year. He said Saraka is an important tradition, one in which they give back to the people.
First and foremost, let me just give God thanks and praise. After a long time, due to the COVID, we didn't have to really cook Salaka food. We have about 25 persons cooking food in Salaka. Those persons in the diaspora who usually come and cook also, just because of the COVID, they're not here this year, but we have about 25 persons cooking. So just come here, enjoy with the protocol. You carry away, no big gathering. So let us just have some fun.
Other residents spoke to GBN about why they felt it was necessary to proceed with the Saraka.
Well, that's a good honest then. Everybody feel happy and everybody enjoy itself, well, as you know.
That's a tradition. Since our grandmother days. Generation after generation, what have it going on. So if we go to let one possible thing come and stop us, that means we're just letting go of everything. COVID is not going anywhere. It is here to stay. So we cannot just let our tradition go down the drain just because of COVID.
We never know we get permission to cook. We follow the protocol, we get hand sanitizer, we put up signs, and we do everything like that.
Saraka has been a tradition that brings the people together. And at this point in time, it's important that we have some sort of togetherness.
The Saraka tradition, which has been practiced in the community for over 100 years, is an African tradition meant to honor the ancestors. The Grenada Employers Federation has appointed former president of the Grenada Union of Teachers, Mr. Lydon Lewis, to the position of executive director effective April 6, 2021. The Grenada Employers Federation said Mr. Lewis comes on board with a wealth of experience in labor and negotiating strategies and extensive educational background, and that they are confident that his appointment will add tremendous value to the operations of the Federation and improve the quality of service delivered to all their members. Stay with us. Sports is up next.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
for your education,
for your financial freedom,
for that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
Pharmacy offers both wholesale and retail pharmaceutical and over-the-counter products. We have the most competitive and affordable prices. We are the agents for Vit Plus multivitamin for healthy everyday lifestyle and Sonatogen powder. Hills and Valley Pharmacy supplies the best quality, name brand clinical products such as Rescue Oil, Bio Oil, Neutrogena, Aveeno, and Clarisil. We offer the most convenient opening hours. Our telephone numbers are 435-6904 or 6903. Remember, at Hills and Valley Pharmacy, your health is our business. We care.
Now open Hills and Valley Medicare Center, your one-stop for medical supplies, massage therapy, physiotherapy, and an in-house physician. At Hills and Valley, your health is our business.
Do you know what time it is? You guessed right, it's detox time again at Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. Purchase our 7-day cleansing pack for only $500. Includes everything you need for a complete total body cleanse. Cleanse your blood, kidney, liver, and colon. This cleanse will help you lighten up and get rid of the excess. Also available are our special product detox combo pack for only $100. Try our single detox products starting from $40. Check us out now now. Belmont St. George's, close to the Fall Edge area, or call us on 231-6642, 449-7753, or 418-7115. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. Detox, your way to health.
Keeping an eye on the weather. This is GBN. We've got you covered.
The weather for tonight and the next 3 days. Tonight's minimum temperature 25 degrees Celsius. Partly cloudy, breezy and hazy with a low chance of light showers. Wind easterly to east-southeasterly at 14 to 24 miles per hour. Still seas slight to moderate with waves 3 to 5 feet in open water. Tides low at 8:30 p.m., high at 2:30 a.m. On Saturday, sunrise at 5:59 a.m., sunset at 6:19 p.m. The weather is expected to be partly cloudy, breezy and hazy with light to moderate afternoon showers. On Sunday, sunrise at 5:59 a.m., sunset 6:19 p.m. The weather is expected to be partly cloudy, breezy and hazy with light to moderate showers occasionally. On Monday, sunrise at 5:58 a.m., sunset 6:19 p.m. Partly cloudy, breezy and hazy with light to moderate morning showers. Good evening, sporting fans. Grenada's first Paralympic swimmer, Naye Cruikshank, departed for Texas on Friday, where she will compete in a qualifying meet for the Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games. Naye is expected to compete in the World Para-Swimming World Series and is traveling with coach Natalie Regis. Coach Regis, prior to their departure, said Naye would first participate in a classification event, which will determine which event she will ultimately compete in. She says one of the major challenges will be to adapt to a 50-meter pool despite her recent successes in training.
So the 200 IM, I'm happy to say we dropped significant time, which like 10 seconds off. She's doing yes, she's now doing well in our pool, and you have to still convert. So it's not even there's not much of a correlation even, but she's doing a 235 in our pool at the moment. We still have to go. Well, we do need proper facility, I guess. Who do I turn to now? Because we're going to compete now in a 50-meter pool, which we have a 25-yard pool. So even the time and so on, trying to convert it as well, we still have to go. And she has never ever competed in a long course pool. So I can't even say in relation to what she would have done prior, because we haven't done it.
Rebounding from 2 consecutive losses, St. Andrew defeated St. George by 5 wickets in match 5 of the Right Start GCA Under-19 Cup on Thursday. St. George set a total of 143 after they were dismissed in 39.2 overs, with Gio Max Andrew and Justin John scoring 38 and 27 respectively. Man of the match, Tion Charles, took a 6-wicket haul for just 23 runs for St. Andrew, with his colleagues Darren St. and Gerald Jeremiah contributing 58 and 30 to bring St. Andrew to 144 for 3 in 30.2 overs. Friday's matchup was expected to be between St. Patrick and St. Mark at the National Cricket Stadium. Queen's Park Rangers ran rampant over GBSS FC in their Under-19 matchup, which ended 5-0 on Thursday. Goal scorers for QPR were Deron Bain, Daryl Phillip, Donald Phillip, Trey John and Charlie Mitchell. Hornved was also victorious, edging out Fountainaire United 2-1, while Sunsetters trashed thrashed Shamrock FC 5-1. St. David got the upper hand over FC Cameron, who lost with a 2-1 score. That's it for sports. Up next, Around the Globe. Tonight's probe around the globe takes us to the USA, where a doctor has rejected claims that George Floyd's drug use and underlying health problems caused his death. Lung and critical care specialist Dr. Martin Tobin testified that Floyd died from a lack of oxygen while being pinned to the pavement with a knee on his neck. The trial for former police officer Derek Chauvin was shown animations of him and two other officers holding Floyd down during the arrest. Al Jazeera's Alan Fisher reports from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
This was a significant day in court, a phase of testimony covering important medical evidence. The first witness, Martin Tobin, a doctor with more than 40 years' experience, a pulmonologist, a breathing expert.
Mr. Floyd died from a low level of oxygen, and this caused damage to his brain that we see, and it also caused a PEA arrhythmia that caused his heart to stop.
Mr. Floyd, pinned to the ground, restrained by police, simply couldn't get enough breath to survive.
The main forces that are going to lead to the shallow breath are going to be that he's turned prone on the street, that he has the handcuffs in place combined with the street, and then that he has a knee on his neck, and then that he has a knee on his back and on his side.
Dr. Tobin reviewed all the video and concluded that after he'd taken his last breath, the police continued to pin George Floyd down for a further 3 minutes.
That's the moment the life goes out of his body.
The defence argued that drugs taken by George Floyd was a significant factor in his death, increasing his carbon dioxide level in his blood. Not so, says the doctor.
What you're seeing is that the increase in his carbon dioxide that is found in the emergency room is solely explained by what you expect to happen in somebody who doesn't have any ventilation given to him for 9 minutes and 50 seconds.
Under cross-examination, Dr. Tobin acknowledged he'd had a lot of time to analyse the events of May last year, but Derek Chauvin was acting and reacting to events as they happened. He dismissed some of the questions from the defence, trying to poke holes in what was a compelling testimony. Throughout, the jury paid close attention to the doctor, many making notes. The defence team, including Derek Chauvin, did the same. A forensic toxicologist told the court there were traces of drugs in George Floyd's system, but nothing that was alarming.
The results would be consistent with the prescription dose of that, is that right?
Yes, it could be.
Would that be considered a low level of methamphetamine?
Yes, very low.
The final question for Dr. Tobin again concerned George Floyd's drug use. He said that those who suffered a fentanyl overdose went into a coma first. George Floyd never did. Alan Fisher, Al Jazeera, at the Derek Chauvin murder trial in Minneapolis.
Mexico says it will continue to use AstraZeneca's COVID-19 vaccine, even though some countries have suspended its use after cases of blood clots following inoculations. The European Union's drug regulator said the vaccine might cause a clot in rare cases. Al Jazeera's Manuel Rapallo reports from Mexico City.
Despite international concerns over the safety of the AstraZeneca vaccine, Mexican political leaders are trying to settle the doubts that many have about receiving the jab.
Yes, I will be receiving the AstraZeneca vaccine. It's been proven that the risks are minimum compared to the benefits.
And while Mexican health officials have said they are investigating claims by Britain's Joint Committee on Vaccination and Immunization over a possible link between the AstraZeneca vaccine and a rare blood clotting disorder, there's no plan to suspend its use.
In short, relax. There's no scientific evidence that suggests a high risk of thrombosis from the AstraZeneca vaccine. Therefore, in a majority of countries where it's being used, it'll continue to be used.
Latin America is one of the worst hit regions in the world by the pandemic, and many countries have struggled to secure contracts with vaccine manufacturers.
The AstraZeneca vaccine is largely considered Latin America's most viable vaccine option, with both Mexico and Argentina signing agreements with the pharmaceutical giant to produce and distribute the vaccine across all of Latin America.
Despite safety concerns from European regulators, the consensus from health experts in Latin America is that the benefits outweigh the risks.
So this isn't unusual. So this is not undermining what the regulators are saying. The regulators are saying this vaccine is suitable for all age groups, but it's up to individual countries to decide how best to deploy those vaccines based on their knowledge of the epidemiology of the circulating virus in their own countries.
While some countries of the world have put a hold on their use of the AstraZeneca vaccine, most Latin American countries just seem willing to take whatever they can get. And for a region that continues to face the darkest days of the pandemic, it may be that suspending the use of the AstraZeneca vaccine is a luxury Latin Americans simply cannot afford. Manuel Rapalo, Al Jazeera, Mexico City.
That's it for Around the Globe. Stay with us for a recap of tonight's top stories. Evacuation continues as the second eruption of La Soufrière is recorded on Friday. Grenada prepares to host Vincentians displayed by volcanic eruptions. Carriacou teacher Leslie Stewart placed on $20,000 bail for alleged sexually oriented crimes. Riversali annual Saraka celebrations proceed. Lydon Lewis appointed executive director of the Grenada Employers Federation. In Around the Globe, doctor rejects claims that George Floyd's death was due to drug use, while Mexico continues its use of AstraZeneca despite blood clotting concerns. In sports, Grenada's first Paralympic swimmer departed Grenada on Friday for qualifying meet for the Tokyo Paralympic Games. If you missed any part of this newscast, a repeat of it will be broadcast at 10 o'clock tonight. Continue to follow us online at or on GBN Television Facebook page and YouTube channel for these and other top stories. I'm Trellona Charles. That's the news. We'll see you again. Good night.
Hey folks, you're invited to tune in to